At this point, I am high-key dying. Like, I am shitting my brains out. I hear the sirens go off and I'm like, oh, that's for me. Like, I literally was struggling to breathe and she's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to call 911. And I'm like, that really just happened to me? Like, what is up? What the flip is up, you guys? Hello, what is up? It's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. You might notice a lot of changes if you're subscribed. Got a haircut, added some layers, you know, kind of fun, kind of fresh, kind of new. Different backgrounds. This is my room. I'm in the middle of an extreme room makeover right now, so it's a lot different. I don't know if I'm gonna upload that before or after this video, so but yeah, this is my room. Definitely suits my vibe, my aesthetic. So from the title of this video, you guys can see this is going to be a story time. I've never really done a story time video before. I've done like mini story times, like in vlogs or whatever, but I've never dedicated a whole video to a story time because I've never had anything that interesting happen to me. But as you can tell, I'm gonna be talking about the time that I got sent to the ER 2 weeks into college of my freshman year. I'm still a freshman right now, but yeah, 2 weeks into college. Literally 2 weeks. Like, I haven't even had a test yet. For some background, I live in Philly. I go to school at UCSB. I'm a freshman right now. UCSB is on the quarter system, so we don't even start until late September. So yeah, this happened in October. It was a Wednesday and I had like my whole day planned out. Like, this whole week was planned out. I had my classes in the morning. Me and my friends heard about free massages that the UCSB like wellness and health center were giving out, and I was like, oh heck yes, like let's do that. We were gonna get a massage. Later that night, I had dance practice for my sorority because we had like ATO rally going on, which you can go watch my ATO rally vlog. That week that I vlogged happened like a couple weeks after this incident. And then I also had this Gaucho FYI meeting, which is basically like a second orientation meeting about drugs, alcohol, unity, whatever, all that stuff, all that good stuff that we need to know. So I had that later at night and I was supposed to go to that with my roommates, Mary and Sophia. But yeah, so that was my day. I had it all planned out. Obviously, it did not go like that. I had my classes. Me and my roommate, Mary, heard about the free massages and we were like, oh, let's go sign up for one. We walked over to the wellness center and we were like expecting to just like, you know, get a massage right then and there, but then they were like, oh, you have to sign up. So we were like, oh, okay, no big deal. Like, let's just sign up and we'll come back in like an hour. I'll still have time to like go to all my stuff and we'll be able to make the Gaucho FYI meeting. And so we sign up and then they're like, oh, by the way, there's tea and snacks and stuff if you wanna go check it out while you wait. And we're like, okay, let's go see what's going on, see what's popping in this wellness center. We get in, there's like tea laid out, all these different tea bags. There's this whole like arrangement of snacks, breakfast, protein bars. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab a bar. Like, I'm kind of hungry, you know? Dinner wasn't for another hour or so and I was like really hungry. So I was like, let me just have a nice little bar to hold me over. And keep in mind, I have never shown signs of a food allergy or a nut allergy. I have been eating nuts my whole life. Peanuts aren't really a nut, they're like a legume, but I eat peanut butter all the time. My roommates know this, Mary and Sophia. Like, I would literally eat rice cakes with peanut butter like every day for breakfast. Like, I would have it all the time. And then I would also have breakfast bars with like almonds in it or whatever. I had Nutella all the time. Like, I freaking love Nutella. Like, no history of a nut allergy or anything. So yeah, I just like grabbed this bar without even like thinking. Mary gets her tea, I get this bar, we walk out and we're like, okay, we're gonna come back in an hour to get our massages. Let's go stop by the USEN because Mary wanted to get a sweatshirt. We're walking to the USEN and I'm eating my bar, and even from the first bite, I'm like, this is kind of weird. Something's weird about this bar. But I still ate the entire thing. I finished the bar by the time we get to the USEN. Throw the wrapper in the trash. We're like in the bookstore looking at clothes and stuff. And by then I can like tell there's something different. Like, immediately after eating that bar, I was like, whoa. My mouth and my throat like got all tingly and I knew something was wrong. Like, my throat was like slowly closing up, but like I could still breathe. So I was like, okay, maybe if I just drink some water, this will all go away. So I'm like, I went to the water fountain, drank a lot of of water, came back, and I'm like, Mary, like something's up. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my throat, but I feel like so whack right now. And we're both like, I don't even know what this could be from. This is so weird. And Mary's like, oh, like I had Benadryl back at the dorm, so like don't worry about it. Like you can try that and see if it helps. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mary buys her UCSB sweatshirt, really cute, really nice. And we're walking back to the dorm and I'm still kind of like freaking out. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be fine. Like, I'm sure I'm just overreacting. At this point, I knew the reaction was on the bar, but I was like so confused because I'm not allergic to anything. So I was like looking up on my phone the bar it was because I threw the wrapper out in the trash, so I couldn't like look at the ingredients or anything. And I was like searching for it. I finally found it. It was like a Kirkland bar and it had like almonds, cashew, pecans, pecans, I don't know. Like it had nuts in it. And I was like, oh, this is like weird because like I'm not allergic to any of these nuts. I have had them before, so I don't know why I would be reacting to them. So we were back at the dorm. At this point, my throat was literally like closing up. Like I literally was struggling to breathe, but Mary gave me her Benadryl. Keep this in mind, I have struggled my entire life with taking pills. Like I literally can't do it. I can take like little mini pills. I think this was like a medium-sized pill. Not that it matters, but anyway, the pain was so excruciating. I knew I was literally not gonna be able to breathe, that I was like, okay, I need to take this pill. I did it because I was like, anything will be better than not breathing. Swallow the pill. Good on me. Now I can swallow pills. You ain't got nothing against me. Like I can swallow pills every time. Took the pill, felt a lot better. I could breathe now, but I still had symptoms, starting to get itchy everywhere. And I remember my stomach felt so sick and like I felt like I needed to throw up or something. I don't even know. My stomach was not okay. I was just like laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, hoping that I would feel better. And maybe if I just like laid down and like rested for a little bit, like it would all go away. You know, like maybe it's just like cramps, like maybe I'm just overreacting. Lying in bed didn't help me at all. So I went to the bathroom. I was like, maybe, you know, maybe I need to shit. Maybe I need to pee. Maybe if I can just, you know, go to the bathroom, let it all out, I'll be okay. Go to the bathroom, I shit. Maybe that was it this whole time. I just needed to take a shit. Like, silly me. Yeah, my stomach still hurts, so I'm like, okay, I just let it all out. Maybe I just need to rest again, lie in bed again. Lie in bed for another like 10 minutes. And then my roommates, Mary and Sophia, were like, oh, we're gonna go to dinner. Like, let's go to dinner before our Gaucho FYI meeting. I end up like feeling a little bit better. I go to dinner and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna eat like something bland. Like, I don't wanna upset my stomach even more. So I just have, you know, some plain pasta. That's all I have for dinner, like just pasta. I'm like, I literally can't put anything else down. Like, I'm just gonna have pasta and that's it. I have my pasta, but I'm still feeling like so sick to my stomach. My stomach is literally like dying and like I'm still feeling a little bit itchy and stuff. So then I was like, guys, I don't think I can make the Gaucho FYI meeting. Like, do you think it's okay? And I was so worried because I'm never one to like miss class or like miss a meeting or whatever. Especially being like 2 weeks into school, I was like, I can't like miss something this early in the school year. Like, let me just, I'll like be able to power through and go. But at this point, I was literally so sick to my stomach. I know if I go, like, I just like will not be okay. My roommates were like, no big deal, like we'll tell the person running it and we'll see if like you can make another time or whatever, because there were like multiple Gaucho FYI meetings. So it was like, okay, fine, like I can probably make another meeting, it'll be fine, whatever. So they go to the meeting and I'm like chilling back at the dorm. I go lie in bed for a couple minutes and they text me and they're like, it's totally fine, the lady said that you can sign up for a different time and you're good to go, just sign up for a different time. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, I'm back in the dorm again, you know, resting, and I'm like still feeling like absolute shit. I decided to go to the bathroom again because I was like, you know, went to the bathroom once, it made me feel a little better, maybe if I go again. Thank God for the shorty's small bathroom. If you guys know UCSB, I live on campus and I lived in Santa Rosa. For us, we had like triples with like community bathrooms. The community bathrooms you share with the whole floor, but luckily for us, we had like a small mini bathroom right next to our dorm, which was meant for the lounges, but like no one really went in there from the lounges. So we just used that bathroom a lot more because it was closer and it also like wasn't crowded. Anyway, I was like, okay, let me just go back to that bathroom. Let me just let it all out. Maybe it will help me. So I go into the large stall of this bathroom. No one's in there, thank God. No one's ever in there, so it's like so nice. We can poop in silence without being scared and stuff. You know, this is our bathroom. But at this point, I'm literally high-key dying. I'm shitting myself, I'm sweating, like I have the sweats, I have the chills, I'm crying my eyes out to my mom on the phone because I don't know what to do. Like, I'm in so much pain and I don't know what it's from, don't know what to do. I've never been in this situation before and I'm on my own. My roommates aren't with me and I have no one else to help me. Like, I'm just by myself in this little small bathroom, like literally dying. Drinking lots of water. My mom's trying to calm me down. She's like, what are your symptoms? What was in the bar that you ate? Figure out what the problem was, like how we could solve it, whatever. She was just like telling me like all this basic stuff, like drink water. I'm like, Mom, I've been drinking water for the past 3 hours trying to get this, whatever this is, out. And it's not helping. Sorry, Mom, about this. I was just really frustrated and so much pain. But thanks for being there for me. But anyway, I was yelling at her because I was like, you're not helping. I was like, you need to help me. Like, I don't know what to do. But while this is all helping, while I'm like screaming, crying, shitting, sweating, whatever, in this stall of the bathroom, some people are coming in and out. Like, it isn't as bad as being in the communal bathroom. Like, that would have been bad. But there were like some people coming in and out and like they can hear me like literally like dying. And they're just, you know, doing their business, going in and out. This bathroom probably smelled so bad. I couldn't help it, you guys. I was having an allergic reaction. I felt so bad. Like, these people that were coming in and out just like could hear me. But also, like, none of them asked if I was okay or anything. Where's this gaucho back mentality, people? But, you know, I get it. You know, if I walked in on something like that, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I probably would have been like, this is kind of weird. But obviously, you know, I don't think they knew what was going on behind that stall door, so, you know, I forgive them. Anyway, still on the phone with my mom, was like, okay, I'm just gonna like lay in bed again, and maybe I can get better. Maybe I can like sleep it off or something. So go back to my dorm, lay in bed more, but my reaction gets even worse. Like, the symptoms, I'm like puffing up, I'm red everywhere, I'm itching all over. So my mom was like, okay, you should really like call the nurse or something. And if you know me, I have pretty bad phone anxiety. Like, ordering food on the phone, not for me. When I'm at work at home, I work at like a little boutique place at home. Answering the phone there also gives me anxiety. Like, I literally hate talking on the phone with people that I like don't know, I'm not comfortable with, you know? So I'm like, okay, like, I can do it. Like, I'm in so much pain. I just like have to get through with this. Like, I just need to call. I call UCSB Health. I stopped crying at this point, but I was like about to cry again, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cry on the phone to a nurse. Like, let's just calm down. I tell her the story. I'm like, I had a bar and I think I'm having an allergic reaction. She was like, okay, like, calm down, everything's gonna be okay. Like, I'm gonna list off some symptoms. If you're experiencing any of these, just say yes after. She's listing off like all the symptoms I have. She's like breaking out in like hives or a rash, trouble breathing, stomach ache, what, I don't even know. All these symptoms that I have, and I'm like, yeah, I'm experiencing all of those. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to call 911. And I'm like, bitch, are you dumb? I was like, this bitch expects me to call 911 right now? I was like, really? And she was like, yes, you need to call 911. And I was like, okay, well. And at this point, I'm literally bawling, crying, because I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? I have to call 911. I call my mom again. I'm FaceTiming her, and I'm like, the nurse told me to call 911. I don't know what to do. And she's like, call 911. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm so scared. I've never called 911 before. Haven't had the experience of doing that. I already have phone anxiety. Calling 911, I'm like, oh my god, like, so this is an actual emergency. I call 911. I'm like crying, but I'm trying to hold it together so I can like speak clearly to them. And I explain the whole situation. I'm like, I'm having an allergic reaction. Like, the nurse told me to call 911. They asked me for like the address, like where I was, whatever, what dorm. I answered all those questions, and then they were like, okay, stay there. We're coming to get you. And I was like, okay. I hang up. I'm just there sitting at my little chair at my desk in my dorm all alone. My roommates are at the Gacha FYI meeting. Keep in mind, they couldn't have their phones out with them. Like, at these meetings, they were like really strict, and they were like, you can't have your phones out. Like, they have to be turned off, put away. You have to pay attention to this, whatever. So I'm just alone in my room. Like, I don't really know what to do. I've literally just told my mom and sister about this. I was gonna go to the RA. Like, when I called 911, they like told me to stay in the dorm. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. Like, they'll get me. Like, it's fine. I don't really need to go to the RA. So I'm just chilling, like waiting for them to come. I go on my phone, you know, scroll through Instagram. I open my Snapchat. I look at my face, and it's literally puffed up. It literally looks insane. Like, I literally look at myself and I'm like, I'm so ugly. And I start crying my ass out. Took this picture of myself, so you can see what I looked like. It looked like I had acne all over my face. Not pretty at all. It's literally disgusting, but I love to laugh at it now. That was how I was feeling in that moment. I hear the sirens go off and I'm like, oh, that's for me. And they like knock on the door. I let them in. I'm crying and they're like asking me all these questions and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what was in the bar. I don't have a wrapper. Like, and I was like, I think this was what was in the bar. Like, but I have no history of having an allergic reaction to nuts or anything. Like, I don't know what it is. They're like, okay, it's fine. So then they take me on this gurney. They put me on a freaking gurney. Is it a gurney or a stretcher? What is a gurney? And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. I'm literally like so puffed up. I look absolutely awful. EMTs like carrying me out, like they're rolling me out the door. And I see all of these like other freshmen looking at me who I don't know. Oh, this is such a great first impression. I'm giving all these people like, what's up? Maybe we'll be friends in the future. All these people are looking at me and they're like, what? So shocked. They're like pointing at me, like talking to their friends. They're like, what is this girl? Like, what is happening? Whatever, at this point I didn't even care. I was like, just like get me to the hospital, bro. I was like, get me to the hospital. They take me in their little ambulance truck. EMT's like helping me and all that. There are like two guys in the back with me. One's like an adult and he's like, you know, helping me, whatever. One's another UCSB student. He's like an upperclassman who's like in this program. He's like really freaking cute. And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Like, this cute guy is seeing me looking like this. Like, I literally look awful. They do all these tests. They like prick my finger, take some of my blood, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I hate blood, but whatever. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to put an IV in you. And I'm like, next caller, next caller. I hate needles, and I know an IV like isn't a needle because this guy told me that it wasn't. But it makes me so uncomfortable. They put it in this hand, I'm pretty sure. But I was like, okay, like I just have to do it. Like, I literally thought I was gonna faint when he was putting it in. And I was like, oh my god, I literally can't do this. Puts it in. And he's like, hey, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I just like don't really like needles. And he was like, it's not a needle, it's like a tube or something. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Through the IV, they're like giving me Benadryl. So we get to the hospital. Yeah, it's this really small hospital in Kalita. Get there, get to the ER. They like put me in a room, get in the medicine through the IV, just chilling, resting, trying to get better. I'm feeling a lot better at this point. Like, my stomach doesn't hurt as much. My symptoms have like gone down. I texted everyone, letting them know I was okay. I was like, yeah, I like texted my roommates and I was like, yeah, I had to like call 911 and go to the hospital, but like I'm fine, I'm totally under control. And you know, my roommates didn't have their phones, so by the time they got out of the Gaucho FYI meeting, they got all these texts and they were like, holy shit, they were like freaking out. They were like, do you need us to come? And they like FaceTime me and I was like, no, seriously, don't come. Like, I think I'm gonna get let out anytime now, so like I'll be back so soon. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't want you to like Uber all the way here for me to like go back. So at this point, I missed my Gaucho FYI meeting and I'm missing like my dance practice for the sorority. Me being me, I like posted on my story, you know, at the hospital being like, how did I get here? Because I'm that bitch. And so many people swiped up and they're like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? And I like, you know, explained everything. I'm like, oh man, this is like crazy. At this point, I'm missing dance practice. I didn't know anyone who had a car. So I was like, oh, like I'm probably just gonna have to Uber back alone. Like, this is gonna be so sad. But thankfully, AKO, Avocado died. I had only been in the sorority for like a week and these girls were being so nice. Jocelyn, who's my big now, she like texted me and she was like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Me and Carrie can come pick you up because Carrie has a car and she's also a sophomore. The sophomores are so nice and they're like, don't worry about it, like we can come pick you up, like whatever you need, we'll get it. And I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. I'm totally fine right now. Like, I'll let you know if I need a ride. I think they're gonna let me out soon. Yeah, so I get better and the doctors were like, yeah, it's probably like a nut allergy. And I was like, the fuck, like I've never been allergic to nuts. I don't really know how it works, but I guess you can like have like a sudden, you can like suddenly have a new allergy. I guess like the big change, like moving across country to college and being in the dorms, whatever, caused me to have this nut allergy. I don't know. I've never been allergic to nuts, so I'm just like really confused. How does one just like suddenly have a nut allergy? But yeah, so I get let out. So I text Jocelyn and I'm like, yeah, can you pick me up? Like, I'd really appreciate it. And they were like, oh my god, yes, of course. Like, we're coming right now. Like, are you at this hospital? Like, yes, we're coming. And I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. So then I put this picture on my story, never eating nuts again. Will swear by that. I will never go through that experience again. I am stopping that there. They pick me up and they're like, do you need anything? I'm like, oh yeah, I actually need to get like this medicine to take. Shout out to Jocelyn and Carrie, you're the best. I went to CVS, I got my medicine. I didn't get my EpiPens though because it was like like late at night and the pharmacy wasn't open, so I was like, okay, it's no big deal, I'll just go tomorrow. So yeah, back in the dorms, go back to my room. Mary and Sophia are there and they're like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, we're so happy that you're here, blah 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 blah. And like people were like coming into the dorms, they were like, Emma, you had a crazy night. And I was like, yep, yeah, I did. Thank god the next day I only had one class and it was at 11, so I could sleep in, go to class, and like come back. It was totally fine. Passed out that night. That whole time I was like, this isn't real right now. Like, this isn't real reality. That really just happened to me. Like, what? And then I realized that I can't even have nuts again. Like, this is so sad. I can't have Nutella. I can't have my little breakfast bars I always had. Who knows if I can eat peanut butter anymore. And then over winter break I got tested and I'm allergic to nuts, so that's awesome. I was supposed to do a food challenge. That's what my allergist calls it. Cute. Food challenge where like try a bunch of food and see if I'm allergic, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, that's my story. That's my story, that's the truth. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. Very interesting story time. If I have anything else crazy in my life happen, I'll let you guys know. Until then, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. See y'all later.